You weren't born afraid. You weren't born thinking you couldn't do something. You didn't come into this world second guessing yourself, right? You didn't wake up 3 years old wondering what people thought about you. You were bold, brave. You were you, right? When you learned to walk, you fell down over and over again, right? But you didn't stop trying. No, you got back up every time. You kept moving. You didn't care who was watching. You weren't scared of failure. Why? Because fear is not who you are. It's something that you learned. Somewhere along the way, someone laughed at you when you tried, right? Someone told you you weren't enough. You got rejected. You made a mistake. You were told to sit down, to be quiet, and to stay safe. And little by little, fear crept in and made itself at home. It told you not to raise your hand, right? Not to speak up, not to take that chance, not to believe too big, not to try again. But fear is a liar, and you were never meant to live with it. Imagine the life you'd be living right now if fear wasn't a part of the equation, right? Imagine the goals you would have already chased, the dreams you wouldn't have put off if it were not for fear. The things you would have said, the boundaries you would have set. See, fear didn't come from God, it came from this world. God didn't create you to play small. He didn't knit you together in your mother's womb just so you could survive in silence. He made you to move mountains, to break generational curses, to speak life, to do things the world said were impossible. You know what's wild? Babies learn to walk not because they understand the physics, but because they don't know failure is an option. That's the power of being born without fear. See, God never gave you fear, right? And God wants to return that childlike boldness back to you. Let me ask you something. How many times in life have you stayed quiet when you should have spoken up, right? How many times have you held back a dream because fear whispered, "What if you fail?" And how many moments have passed where you felt in your spirit that you were meant to do more, but you stayed still? Fear is not just a feeling, it's a thief. It steals purpose. It steals time. It steals identity. And the longer you entertain it, the more it tries to redefine who you are. Listen, you are not what fear says you are. You are who God says you are. Let me remind you of something. You made it through every single hard day of your life so far. You've had your heart broken, right? And still showed up. You've lost people you loved and kept breathing, right? You've been counted out and kept going. You've overcome things others don't even know about. And you did that with fear knocking at the door. So imagine what you can do when you stop answering it. Remember, you were born without fear. And it's time to remember who you were before the world told you to shrink. You want to know what God actually gave you? Power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Fear was never part of the package. That means you can stand up today and say, I don't have to be fearless, but I can stop letting fear make my decisions, right? Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing it anyway, knowing God's with you. So let's make a shift, starting now. No more. I'm not ready. What if they don't like me? I'm not good enough. What if I fail? Start asking, what if God is waiting on me to just move? What if my next step changes everything? What if I was born for this? Because you were. You were born for purpose, born to lead, born to rise, born to create, born to speak life and truth and hope. Fear didn't make you, so don't let it hold you. I don't know who tried to silence you. I don't know what moment broke your boldness, but I do know this. God is calling you to remember to return, to step forward, because this world needs the version of you that fear tried to bury. So if you've been living quiet, if you've been stuck behind fear, if you've been playing it safe for way too long, it's time. Time to be who you were before fear moved in, right? Time to speak up. Time to take the risk. Time to walk in faith, even when trembling knees. You were born without fear, and you're still that same person underneath the pain, the doubt, the setbacks. It's your time now. No more shrinking. No more silence. You were born to rise.